Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. If there's anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And right off the bat, Empress energy. Beautiful. This is a very productive time for you. Right? There's a lot of potential right now for manifestation, for getting this kind of, this is success, this is love, this is joy, this is abundance, right? This is kind of immersing ourselves in the world that we're creating and enjoying it, yes, right? But taking care of it, maintaining it, right? And I feel like you've been doing that. There's the Ten of Wands. We're going to see what else is going on here. The Adjustment card, the Emperor card, and the World card. You got a lot of major arcana here already, and a Two of Cups. Interesting that we see this we see an extreme energy here. And I almost wonder if part of the Empress and the Ten of Wands is the idea that we've been maybe trying too hard, right? Maybe we need to ease back a little bit and just kind of let things take a natural course, let things unfold without our direct kind of control and involvement over it, right? But let's continue here. We got a Three of Pentacles. We got the Hierophant now. We got a Three of Swords and a Nine of Wands. So we've backed off just a little bit from the 10. Yeah, so I think that's a good sign there. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're just going to maybe stop there. We're going to put Tiny Bob Ross right there on top. Happy little Bob. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, right? It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. But if at any point during the reading you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction down in the comments. Let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise in intuition. All right, I think it'll be fun. Anyway, a lot of majors. Like I said, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana. We've got fire. We've got water, we've got air, we've got earth. So we've got some of everything very heavy on the major arcana. And when we have this much major arcana, it's sometimes an indication that, look, Spirit's got this. The universe knows what it's doing. We don't have to try to micromanage or control every little thing, right? But I wonder if this is maybe your involvement here, or if there is possibly another person here, but we don't have any court cards. I feel like this is your energy, and I feel like your life right now is going to get very, very abundant. There are new relationships happening with you. There are new, not even strictly romantic relationships, but there are new business relationships coming your way, new friendships coming your way. I think there's kind of a lot of people gathering around you. And yes, it's the end of the year. Maybe that kind of has a lot to do with it. But I feel wherever this is happening, whatever the context, maybe it is a holiday party or a family gathering, that's an opportunity to really connect with these people, right? You got everybody in the same room. You might as well start networking, But networking with the heart. I feel like this is, yes, maybe a potential for a new romantic relationship, the potential for new business relationships. A lot of new people, it feels like, are coming into your life. But that's not really the focus. The focus is on your reaction to that. Yeah. Because we've got this 10 of Wands, because we don't have any other court cards, we're not really talking about who these people are. But when you are making these new connections, when all of these new things, new people, an abundance, right, of opportunity, an abundance of joy and success, we've got to be careful not to go kind of too hard with it. We don't want to go 10 of Wands with that, We don't want to try to micromanage or control every little thing. We don't want to feel that we're responsible for doing everything. Yeah, maybe this is a holiday thing, right? It's starting to sound kind of like it. Everybody is getting together. Well, everybody can share some of the work too, But I feel really what this is, a lot of new things coming into your life pretty soon. Now, could be talking the end of the month here, the beginning of the year. I'd say over the next couple of months, right? A lot of new things. Possibly a new love relationship, definitely new like business or new opportunities or new creative partnerships, collaborations, maybe meeting some new friends. I think learning a lot of new things. And with all of these new things, the 10 of Wands really is talking about the pressure. Feels like a lot. It's kind of overwhelming, right? And with that feeling of being overwhelmed or getting overwhelmed, we might try to micromanage. We might feel like all this stuff is piling on us. They're very good things, right? But it's a lot. So we might feel an urge to kind of to dictate, to control how everything functions. Yeah, so that we can obviously be in control and not be overwhelmed by all of this. But I think it's very good things. A lot of very good things coming into your life. The Empress is such a beautiful card. And we really want to nurture and take care of these things and these new opportunities and these new friendships, new relationships, new family opportunities, like all of this really kind of joyous stuff. We want to make sure that we treat it tenderly, right? Not harshly. We do see some harshness here with the Emperor energy coming behind you. And I think you're used to that. You're used to being the boss. You're used to being the one kind of in control. That is, doing all of the decision making, making the plans, executing the plans, right? All of the weight is usually on your shoulders. I think you're very much an emperor kind of person, And so now we've got the partnership here with the Empress energy, and it's kind of saying, let's ease back a little bit. Let's not put all of our Emperor energy, all this 10 of Wands, all this fire on this Empress and this water, because that might be too much. That might overwhelm this new partnership. If it is a romance, for some of you, it's going to be the start of a new romantic relationship in the next couple of months. Don't put this fire energy into that too much. Like I said, we're kind of backing it off a little bit here with the 9, from 10 to a 9. Because this is too much, and this will really overwhelm this water and this Empress energy. Okay? I feel with this, for some of you, it is going to be a romantic thing that's coming your way very soon. And there's something you're going to notice about this person's face, and I don't know what it is exactly. They might have, their eyes might be very, what they call piercing eyes, right? But there's going to be something distinct about the face that's really going to kind of stand out to you. And I don't know exactly what that's about, but look for that, They might be an Aries or a Taurus person too. It could be. That's maybe a little bit low probability, but it is there. The 2 of Cups in the future position, this, for a lot of you, this is going to be romance. Okay? And with this romance, we have to really shift into this Empress kind of energy where we want to nurture this thing. We don't want to be overwhelmed, but we don't want to overwhelm as a compensation, right? As a kind of an overcorrection of the way we feel, right? If you're feeling quite overwhelmed, it's easy to put that energy on something else. So we want to be careful with that, because I feel I feel as if this is kind of trusting in the situation, trusting in how you feel about it, listening to your body, right? Listening to your heart. Does it feel right? Are you getting good vibes? Are you getting a lot of red flags? I think there are some red flags that are going to pop up, but I think those are, that's something for us to deal with. It's not necessarily something that's with the other person, you know. For a lot of you, this Two of Cups is representing the union or the one-on-one connections with people. It's not an intellectual connection, even though it might have to do with learning or with business, with opportunities for advancement or for networking connections, creative projects, any of these sorts of things. It's not really an air. See, we don't have a lot of swords cards here. It's a connection that you have to feel, right? And I think with all of this stuff coming your way, you have to choose those ones that feel right. You know, and this really is kind of a, mind-body awareness. You've got to listen to kind of how, what it feels like viscerally when you're with these people and when you're making these connections. Some of them are going to be business, kind of contractual opportunities. This is the Adjustment card. Now, some of you might have marriage on the mind. It is possible that that this Two of Cups is going to lead to something a little bit more official, right? So for those of you that are wanting that, this is an indication of that. This is also the kind of a handshake agreement, a collaboration. It could be the signing of contracts, could be the accepting of a job, right? Could be a commitment to something, let's say, right? In a formal way. Right, signing the contract, signing the license, making that kind of that handshake agreement that says, yeah, let's do this together. It could be a creative thing, a business thing, could be a charity thing, a community organization. It doesn't really matter, right? It could be all of these things. But this is down here underneath the surface, and I think the reason it's here is because of this Three of Swords here. See, we've got the connection with the air. This is a Liber card. This is air energy. So we're kind of, we want commitment. It's either we want the contract, we want the marriage, we want the job, we want the handshake agreements, we want the collaboration, we want the more formal and official partnership, whatever it might be. Doesn't have to be romantic. I don't want to scare anybody away. It doesn't have to be romantic. Okay. We want that, whatever exactly it is for you. But we're a little bit scared of it because I think you've committed to things in the past that haven't worked out, right? And so now we're starting to kind of project our red flags onto this situation, even though, like I said, there's going to be red flags, but those are something that are kind of within you. But we have to understand, is that something that you intuitively sense and feel, and it is kind of true and you should trust your instinct there? Or is it just your mind trying to protect yourself by saying, oh, no, there's something wrong there. Let's not go down that road. It's difficult to know the difference. It really is. The World or Universe card at the top of the path of the dove. For some of you, travel is in your future in the next couple of months. Maybe you're traveling for the holidays or something like that. Traveling to a convention, traveling to a business, a company party. I don't know, a summit, whatever it could be. And I think this is really, I think some of you have been unsure whether or not to go on this trip. And I think the idea here, the message for some of you is that definitely this trip is going to lead to very, very good connections. Okay? Very, very good connections. Don't forget your emperor status, though. Okay? You have to be both emperor and empress. And really this is, look at this. We've got emperor, empress, and love. And marriage perhaps down here. And even now, bringing in that Hierophant, that's marriage. For some of you, this is what's going on. You're going to meet the person of your dreams. And the future is unlimited. Unlimited. Okay? If we can get over our fears and our worries of kind of, the way we've been hurt in the past. Okay? So for some of you, that's really good news. For some of you, I think this is going to be more as a business partnership, or even a friendship that has a lot of potential to it for success, a creative collaboration, right? Because with these two coming together, they're not opposites, they're complementary energies. You have skills that the other person doesn't. They have creative ideas that match yours. They're not identical. It's not the same person, right? It's a mesh. It's a blending. It's a partnership. It's a coming together that you have to feel is right. You'll know, right? Viscerally, you'll know. And then you have to make the commitment, and you have to take the journey, right? Buy the ticket, take the ride. There is that strong kind of romance path that we're kind of on here too, which is very interesting. We don't want to forget about the Ten of Wands, though. I keep hiding it, but let's not hide that, okay? Because this is the truth of it. You're going to be perhaps a little bit overwhelmed. You're going to want to micromanage. You're going to want to control every little thing. We've got to let things unfold naturally, okay? Naturally, as they will. Some of you have a very strong connection with rubies or some kind of red gemstone. I don't know if you wear a necklace, or maybe this other person that you meet will have that. Look for that kind of synchronicity in your life, right? A red gemstone, a ruby, or something like that. Okay. We're going to switch to the path of the serpent, and as I do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. And leave some comments for me. I really do enjoy reading the comments. I enjoy when you shout out where you're watching from. It's really fascinating to see how widespread the audience is, really a global community that we're creating here. And I really do love that, and I love all of you. Okay. Three of Pentacles here is your general energy. You kind of have a little bit of a practical side to you. And I think that stems from your kind of emperor status, where you have been in charge of your own life. You've been making your own decisions, and you've been the one to make the plans and execute them, because you understand the process of creation on the physical plane, the material, world. So it's, you're seeing the benefit of this kind of partnership. And this is kind of a card that says, look, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, right? Not necessarily dollars, right? Not just money. But if it doesn't have a kind of a positive, practical, tangible result, then something's not right there. Something's wrong, right? So even in these kind of, love relationships, you're always thinking in a practical way, how is this, like I may feel a strong desire and attraction, but how is this actually going to work? Can we see it working in a month, a year, 5 years, 10 years? Yeah. In a very practical way, how is it going to happen? And I think that's something that's going to be on your mind, and that's very, very smart, right? To think of things that way. But don't let that kind of practical sense overcome this Empress and this Two of Cups energy, right? Because that's kind of like you just met someone and you're already kind of planning the next 10 years. That might be a little bit of this Ten of Wands, stuff going on. So let's be careful of that. Let's go slow. Let's take things as they come. Let's let it unfold as it will. And we nudge it along in the direction that we would like it to go, but we don't go overboard. We don't do too much of that. Okay. The Hierophant is next. And the Hierophant is in your environment. So this could in some way represent this other person, because it is the card of your relationship with the environment. It's very close to this Two of Cups too. Might be a Taurus person that you are really going to be connecting with. And the connection really could be one that is strictly business. Okay, I don't want to just assume everything is going to be romantic here. This could be really connecting with a new supervisor, boss, somebody at a convention that has just a job offer for you, right? The best kind of opportunity. Because I feel that for some of you, it's going to be like a supervisor or a manager or a professor, someone that has what feels like kind of a higher position, right? Somebody with something to offer you. Someone with the authority to offer you this position or offer you this opportunity, right? But that is something that I think is very close to this history for you, this past, these memories, okay? And I think what these cards are trying to do is tell you that, yeah, you've learned your lesson from the past. You know, not that anything was your fault. I don't know. I don't know what the history is that the Three of Swords is talking about. But things have unfolded in your life that you didn't always have control over. And that's some of the lesson of this Hierophant. Things happened the way they happened, and honestly, 99% of the things that happen to each of us are beyond our power of control. But you are compensating for that with these. You want to try to control everything so that nothing happens to you, right? Nothing kind of negative happens to you. And I think that this is an opportunity for you to think about that. Are you kind of projecting that into the environment? Is that attitude, is that emperor style preventing you from making these stronger connections, whether they're romantic, platonic, business, or, creative, whatever? Sometimes the Hierophant talks about how you're connecting with things, right? Is there an open kind of dialogue here? And I think there needs to be a dialogue with yourself too, because we need to deal with this Three of Swords. If it is preventing you from fully experiencing these kinds of connections, right? These kinds of connections. And now what the Three of Swords and, all of these cards, literally the entire path of the Serpent is saying, is that when you're in this situation, you're going to have a feeling in your gut, right? You're going to get those butterflies, that nervousness, that anxiety, the sweaty, whatever. That doesn't always mean red flag, right? Anxiety and the butterflies in the stomach and the queasiness and that sort of thing is kind of our body's way of telling us that there's danger nearby, right? But that's something that we've developed now, and I think we get that internal alarm saying danger, 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 even when there isn't any danger, right? And that's the Three of Swords exactly. The feeling that there is danger right now when there's not. What the body is doing is remembering, taking cues from something familiar that's happening now, associating it with past pain or danger or trauma or loss or suffering or sorrow, and turning that into the present and saying there's danger now, right? There's danger now. There isn't always, right? We've got to know the difference. We've got to know the difference there. So it takes a lot of Nine of Wands at the top of the path of the Serpent. It takes a lot of strength to get over these kinds of feelings, or to learn to work through the nervousness, through the anxiety, through that kind of, the indigestion where your stomach starts to really grumble when you're kind of put on the spot or you're in a nervous and anxious kind of situation or an anxious state. And a lot of what strength is pushing through that kind of nervousness. And I was talking to my daughter about this the other day. She's 3. Okay. She's trying to learn what it means to be scared and what it means to be brave, to be strong, And I try to tell her, I try to figure these things out with her together, And we've come up with the idea that you have to be scared. You have to be nervous. You have to be anxious if you're going to be brave, right? It's not bravery like the Fool. Like we take the Fool card. Fool's not really brave, right? Because the Fool doesn't feel nervousness, doesn't feel uncomfortable, doesn't feel scared, just kind of stumbles into everything. It's not bravery. It may be foolishness, it may not be, but I don't think that's courage, really. So my daughter was thinking that, well, I guess you have to be scared. You have to be nervous, because that means you have an opportunity to be brave. And that really is the strength to push through the internal alarm clock saying, hey, this situation feels strangely familiar to the last time that we got, burned or hurt or lied to, or we felt some sort of loss or pain or suffering. And yet we stay strong and we stay focused and we listen to the body, right? But we try to differentiate that internal alarm clock from a past, like a memory or something that's actually happening now, And it's not easy to discern the difference. But the strength that we get with the Nine of Wands here is showing that we can't do a Ten of Wands. We can't control everything. What we can control is our responses to the world. We can't control the world. The Hierophant says 99% of what happens in the world, we have no say over. We have no control over. But we do have control over ourselves, our responses to things. So when we feel that nervousness, that indigestion, we could retreat. We could listen to it and say, yeah, maybe there is danger here. I better go somewhere. Or we could try to say, look, there's no danger right now. This is just a situation that makes me uncomfortable, but I'm going to go ahead and push forward and talk to this person or make this connection or take this opportunity or take that trip. Go to that meeting, go to that summit, go to that holiday party, right? Real strength here. Also, I feel like a lot of you have a bit of a sweet tooth right now. And I think it might have been the last Capricorn reading where we were talking about a toothache for some of you. And now we're getting this, I'm getting a feeling of a real interest in sweets right now, right? Which I think is good. I think the Empress really, and the Two of Cups, there's a lot of sweetness here, So I think we are kind of craving the sweetness of this kind of relationship. It really does, for a lot of you, feel very much like a romantic thing. But for others, there is this practical kind of business side of things. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. Let's see what Tiny Bob Ross has for us today. Well, I don't know. We need some more water energy. Maybe we could see either a Six of Cups or a Six of Pentacles. I think a Six of Cups would be nice. Any kind of water energy to show that we're taking a chance on this. We're taking a chance on this because we see all the potential, all the opportunities that it could have for us. We're taking this journey, right? We're taking the ride. And we're going to see what it can unfold into. So I'm thinking Six of Cups. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Ooh. Well, Hermit. This, I think, is our instinct. This is kind of saying, look, if I can't control the situation, if I'm not going to be in charge, if there's going to be just too many variables going on, I'm not going. Right? I'm not going. And the Hermit, the Hermit sometimes says no to things, right? It feels like if we don't get our way, if we can't have things, exactly the way we want, then we're gonna not go. And it kind of feels like we're gonna find an excuse, an excuse to not go. But the Hermit has another lesson, right? Because there's, it doesn't have to be either or. It doesn't have to be either you go and you immerse yourself in this situation or you stay home, right? Or you don't go. You take this opportunity or you don't. Well, I mean, we do have to make decisions, right? But this is the reconciliation of opposites. You can be scared, but be brave. And in fact, the union of those two, I think, is where real power is out. Because we have the sun and the moon here, right? We have those two opposites, but they're connected, right? It's connecting with how you feel with what's going on inside. And how does that relate to what's going on in the world right now? Yeah. So I think the Hermit it tells me that maybe we're leaning toward disengagement, toward saying no, to politely declining, right? And that's okay. If that's your choice, that's of course totally fine, right? The Hermit, I think, is asking you to look deep within and find your light, find your guiding principle. Why are you saying no? Why are you politely declining the invitation to go to the company party or to the family gathering or to go talk to this person, or if they ask you on a date or on an adventure? I don't know if people still date anymore. Why are you choosing to decline? Right? And maybe it's, maybe if we can be aware of why we're doing that, maybe we'll see that a lot of it is because of that Three of Swords, not because of anything that's really wrong in the situation, but just we are it's the self-preservation kind of thing. Yeah. I feel like sometimes the Hermit is a little bit too overprotective, right, of ourselves. Every card has light and shadow, I don't want to end this reading on a down note, so I think this is, for some of you, I think you're inclined to say no to this opportunity. But this could really be a little bit of introspection to kind of gather our strength, right? Gather our forces, and then do it. And this card's also kind of saying that, look, you can still be the Hermit even in a crowded room. So even though you're out in the world, you're out in all of this, whatever situation this is, you can still protect yourself. You're still kind of shielded. You're still wearing your cloak, So let's not use this as an excuse to just kind of go hide away, Let's go immerse ourselves into the world, like a Rosicrucian, wears the robe of their countrymen. And I think that this is being in the world, but still being shielded and protecting of ourselves, in the world, but not of the world. A little bit of that going on. But I think this is a good confirmation card. Gives us a lot to think about as these opportunities start to come in. Okay. Are we saying no, and why are we saying no? Let's do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click on the link either above or below in the video description. I'm here every day from 6 to 8 a.m. Chicago time. Come back and see me again tomorrow. Okay. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. And leave a comment for me. I really do enjoy reading all of your comments. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.